This episode of the podcast is being recorded on January 12th, 2020.
Okay, on both sides. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you right now to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, Minnesota. Touch them up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy 2020. If you're having a good 2020 so far, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on being positive, surround yourself with positive people, and spread that shit. Spread that positivity to everybody you know. And if you're having a bad 2020, keep your head up. Look life square in the face, and you keep on going. You keep on going and you don't give up no matter what. No matter what, you keep on walking. 1 foot after the other. 1 foot after the other. Even if it feels sometimes like you have cinder blocks up in those bitches, you keep on going and you don't give up. It gets better, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. And with that being said, welcome to Have Fun on the Indys. I'm your host, Abe, and you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All you have to do is use the handle @HaveFunOTI. That's @HaveFunOTI. There you'll find all the links to our podcasts, from YouTube to SoundCloud to Vimeo, etc., etc. And today, we're going to start this show off right. We're going to start the first show of 2020 with some boxing. And then we're going to peruse our way down to mixed martial arts, and then we're going to main event this bitch with some professional wrestling. And as I was getting fat during the holidays and being completely undisciplined, drinking too much beer and eating so much good food, I came upon an article here in the boxing world, and it said and it was on BleacherReport.com, and the headline read, according to TMZ, Floyd Mayweather wants 2 fights in 2020. 1, a Pacquiao rematch, and 2, he wants a UFC opponent. And man, Floyd Mayweather, decades into this game, and he still brings all the attention anytime he speaks. He makes so much money just by talking. And right now he just completely said the words that were music to everyone's ears. 2 fights. Because let's face it, there's people that want Floyd Mayweather to win, and there's people that buy Floyd Mayweather pay-per-views to watch him win, but the majority of folks want to see him lose. I'm not one of them. However, there's a lot of folks that want to see him lose. And 2 fights, so you either buy it to cheer for him or boo him. Either way, it's millions for him. Millions of dollars. So the first thing he said was he wants a rematch with Pacquiao. The first fight was the highest grossing boxing fight in the history of the sport. In my opinion, it was super entertaining, even though most fans thought it was a flop because it wasn't a sit there and throw punches and bunches until everybody's bleeding all over the place. And then the match ends, a little bit of time goes by, and then it gets made worse by the fact that after the fight, it was revealed that Manny Pacquiao was hurt. I think it was his shoulder. His shoulder was fucked up. He wasn't throwing combinations and flurries as usual. And, people got pissed off about that. Especially the people that wanted to see Floyd Mayweather lose. Even though I'm not sure even if Pacquiao was at 100%, I'm not sure his flurries could have gotten through the defense of Floyd Mayweather at all. The closest person that I've seen flurry against Mayweather and throw punches and bunches and get close to beating him was Marcos Maidana, the first fight. Marcos Maidana in the first fight threw a lot of punches, except there was a difference. He didn't throw punches the way Manny Pacquiao throws punches. Manny Pacquiao is very technical with the way he throws his flurries. Marcos Maidana made it super dirty. He made it dirty, and it was working. So, Manny Pacquiao. People are saying he has a bigger chance now to win because he'll be healthy. And quite frankly, ever since that Mayweather loss, he hasn't been doing too shabby. Set aside his political career, because we all know now he's, a senator. He's been a senator for a while. And set that aside, he hasn't been doing too shabby in the boxing ring. Let's go down his record for a little bit and see what he's been up to. That way I don't make any mistakes and just speak. Let's see here. Sorry, folks. My computer sucks. It's decades old. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Since he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he had a very controversial Timothy Bradley fight. Then he beat Jesse Vargas. He lost to Jeff Horn in a fight that he shouldn't have lost at all. So we'll count that as a win. Then he beat Lucas Matisse, Adrian Broner, and Keith Thurman. That's not too shabby at all. Adrian Broner was a name. Lucas Matisse might have been a little past his prime, but he was still very dangerous. And Keith Thurman. I mean, come on. Keith Thurman right now is at the top of his fucking game. Keith Thurman is an animal. And Manny Pacquiao disposed of him. Let's take a look at Keith Thurman's fucking record. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Jose Zito Lopez. All these guys. Jesus Soto Carras. And Manny Pacquiao, at the age that he's in, at his fucking age, went in there with a very, very invigorated 31-year-old Keith Thurman, who's a champion, who's been beating everybody, and won. So to say that the next Mayweather fight is going to be probably way more exciting than the first one is an understatement. It's going to be one hell of a fight. Count me in. It might not be a slobber knocker, but it's going to be a great professional fight. And then we move on to the things that people are bitching about. Floyd Mayweather wants to fight another MMA fighter. As we know, the first time an MMA fighter stepped into the boxing ring with him, Mayweather destroyed him. Mayweather destroyed him, and a lot of people said it wasn't fair, and a lot of people said Mayweather should try mixed martial arts. I don't know. I don't know if Mayweather should try mixed martial arts. I think if Mayweather was going to try mixed martial arts, it should have been years ago. Years ago. Could he have had a good chance of being a badass player in the mixed martial arts octagon when he was younger? Guaranteed. With his work ethic and his obsession with being the best, guaranteed he could have held his own against anybody at 145. Hell, maybe anybody at 135. However, at this stage in the game, hell no. Hell no, he's not going to step into the octagon, and he doesn't need to. He's older, and if the MMA guys want to make some money, they got to come to him, which is what he's trying to do. He wants another MMA dish served to him nice and hot. And can you blame him? Another MMA crossover boxing fight might not get the same money as the McGregor fight, but I promise you, I guarantee you, everybody's going to order it. Even the people bitching and complaining, it'll do huge numbers. And especially if the rumors are real. And some of the people that he wants to fight are either Khabib or Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal recently has blown the fuck up with this whole baddest motherfucker title thing when he fought Nate Diaz. Can you imagine Floyd Mayweather and Jorge Masvidal? If it's in the boxing ring, obviously, I feel Mayweather has the advantage. However, Jorge Masvidal is a little Marcos Maidana, I would assume. He's a little street. And I don't think he'll be scared to get dirty. And then we have probably the most popular champion right now in the UFC who Mayweather wants to fight in a boxing ring. And that's Khabib. And I think Mayweather here is not only thinking, I have a good chance to beat Khabib, because Khabib is not known as a striker at all, even though his striking has improved incredibly. We saw what he did to McGregor on the feet. However, Khabib is money. Not just for the simple fact that he's known in the UFC, but for the simple fact that he has a country behind him. He has a whole freaking country behind him. And they are very passionate about the shit he does. The funny part about all this is Masvidal probably stands more of a chance in a boxing fight than Khabib. But if it comes down to it, it's probably going to be Mayweather Khabib. I don't know. Crazy world. I can't wait to see it. Anytime Mayweather fights, I'm down to watch. Just for the simple fact that I want to see if he's going to be able to be dethroned. Not because I want him to be dethroned, but because he's that damn good. Can anybody solve the puzzle is what I'm interested in. Anywho. Another article I found here on boxingscene.com was a pretty controversial one, and it's having sanctioning bodies split up and fight with each other, and it's become a giant thing. The WBA stands with the WBO, offers support to pros targeting Olympic Games. So here's the deal. The Olympic Games wants to open up its boxing program to the professionals. As we all know, the Olympics is full of amateur boxers, and usually those amateur boxers, if they do really well at the Olympics, they usually go on to become pros. But now, the Olympics, because they're probably declining in ratings, a lot of people don't watch it as much, especially the boxing side of it. They want to bring in the pros because the pros are money. The pros have names. And it's hard to say if it's wrong to do this or it's right for many reasons. However, I mean, the WBA and WBO are all for it. They've come out and said it. Here's according to this article. Here, let's see here. Here we go. Here's what the WBA said. Through a letter, the president of the WBA, Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, wished luck to those who decide to look for their passage to Tokyo 2020. On behalf of the great family of the World Boxing Association, a pioneer in governing pugilism, in which I am honored to preside over, I want to express our full support to all professional boxers in Mexico who wish to participate in the qualifying tournament for the next Olympic Games, Mendoza said. WBA is all for it. The WBC, however, is against it big time. Really against it. 2-year suspension if you participate in any Olympic qualifier or tournament against it. You know, I'm not sure if this is fair or it isn't fair. I have been battling and still haven't made up my mind. I've read both sides of the story. Some people say it's unfair to the amateurs who are trying to win Olympic gold, that it's their chance to shine since they don't all make it to the pros. Olympic gold for these amateurs could be the pinnacle of their careers. It could be something that they can grow up and tell their grandchildren about. And it's still very prestigious to be an amateur boxer who wins Olympic gold. But then you have but also people are saying it could be dangerous. There could be some really, really young guys in there with seasoned vets. People can get hurt. As we've seen recently, there's been deaths in the boxing ring just these past few years. So people are saying that the amateurs aren't used to fighting with these big-time pros that hit harder and are more seasoned. But then we flip to the other side of the coin. People say it isn't more dangerous to have the pros in there because the rule set is completely different in a pro fight compared to an amateur fight. Some people are saying that a pro going into the Olympics actually has a disadvantage because of the rules. Is it true or not? I don't know. Also, according to a lot of people who follow the amateur Olympic circuit, there are few guys in there who are younger than 24. So it's not like it's fucking teens in there battling it out with Deontay Wilder. We don't have freaking high school senior over here, 18 years old, going into the Olympic amateurs fighting freaking Deontay Wilder. So it shouldn't be too bad. Honestly, I'm interested in seeing it happen just to see how it plays out. And let's not forget Olympic drug testing. As much as that gets made fun of for being a huge joke, will it be strict or will it be business as usual? Time will tell because let's face facts, ladies and gentlemen. In boxing, along with a lot of other sports like football, baseball, etc., the drug testing isn't that deep. So it's an interesting time. Time will tell what happens. If they allow the pros to go into the amateur Olympic ranks, I, for one, am watching 100%. I watch the amateurs in the Olympics anyways, just not as deep as I do the pros. So it'd be nice to see this crossover. Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. Recently, we had a fight. We had a pretty damn good fight this weekend. We had Claressa Shields versus Ivana Bazin at the Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey, for the vacant WBC and WBO light middleweight titles. Man, Claressa Shields is on a whole different fucking level. The press conference before this fight was off the hook. Claressa was very aggressive and angry about the difficulty Ivana's team made the contract negotiations. Shields says Ivana didn't really want the fight, that Ivana kept asking for more money, that Ivana kept asking for certain places to stay, that Ivana kept asking for all these demands. She was pretty much blaming Ivana for making championship fight demands when she's not a champion. And, man, during the fight, Shields just thoroughly dominated this woman. After the second round, Bazin looked intimidated. She just looked shut down. Shields was faster, stronger, and my God, more violent. Shields isn't known for a KO power. She hasn't really even knocked anybody down. This fight was the first. She was knocked down due to a body punch at one point in the fight. And the punch difference to the body was insane. I think at one point, Shield had landed 68 body shots, and Bazin had like 16. Anyways, the winner and new WBC and WBO 154-pound champion by unanimous decision was Claressa Shields. And what made this fight huge in the minds of everybody was the fact that if she won these belts, she would have won 3 titles in 3 different weight divisions in the shortest amount of time. In the shortest amount of fights, not the shortest amount of time, in the shortest amount of fights. And the person who held that record so far was Vasily Lomachenko. And it is history making. It's history making for women's boxing. Claressa Shields is doing everything in her power to get respect to women's boxing, because even when Muhammad Ali's daughter was doing it, nobody cared. However, are we really going to compare that record with Lomachenko's? Lomachenko's level of competition has been extraordinarily high. And he's drawn more, and it's just the level of competition. That's what it comes down to. And Claressa Shields, as much as I'm sure she wants and craves top-level competition, there isn't that much competition in boxing yet. She's finding herself in that Ronda Rousey position that Ronda Rousey had in MMA, where she was beating all kinds of girls, but most of the time, the women's division was just getting built. So you had a lot of girls that weren't well-rounded, which in my opinion is what's happening with Claressa Shields. However, that's not to take anything away from her, because now here's a perfect segue to move on to this MMA world, to move on into the octagon. Because Claressa Shields is trying to make women important in boxing. And she's not only trying to make women important in boxing, she's trying to revolutionize how women are seen in fight sports, which is something Ronda Rousey did already. So that's off the table. She's not going to do what Ronda Rousey did, because Ronda Rousey already did it. So what's the next step for her to be great? Dominate boxing? She's done that already. So in her mind, she's thinking, well, I dominated boxing. What's going to make me better than Rousey if I also dominate MMA? I mean, it's obvious Claressa's trying to become the greatest women combat sports athlete of all time. Because right now, as we've mentioned, it's either Ronda Rousey or Amanda Nunes. But if a woman could go in and destroy in both worlds, oh man, the sky's the possibility. I'm starting to think Claressa found a way to be the first woman to be champion in both sports. Hell of a task. And the hell of a task means you're going to need a hell of a coach or trainer. So, who do you think's been talking to Claressa Shields recently? Obviously, it's got to be someone in MMA, right? Because if it wasn't, how is she going to learn the grappling? How is she going to learn jiu-jitsu? How is she going to learn kicks? I'll tell you how. By looking up the best in the world. Here's a clip. I'm going to show you this clip, and we'll discuss it here in a bit. Here we go.
It's just, I find a way to make it fun so I continue to do it.
I have to ask, of course, I'm sure, everyone's been talking, you and Amanda Nunes. You've been talking about it, she's been talking about it. She said fighting her would be a grave mistake. It would be impossible to beat her.
That's what she said.
What is your message to Amanda?
Don't doubt me.
Don't doubt you.
That's all. That's my message to her. Like, you may think that you're...
There you go. Don't doubt me. So then we ask ourselves, Clarissa, what do you mean don't doubt you? You've never been in MMA. Who the hell is going to train you, Clarissa? Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the kicker.
Like, hey, the officer on the table, and he told me he fights in February. So he said after he fights, I can come down there, a week or two and see how I feel doing the MMA stuff.
That's got to be very exciting for you. I mean, like, you're at the top of your game. He's at the top of his game. I mean, you can't really get trained by a better. It's exciting and scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because training to me is like the hardest part of boxing. When I get inside the ring and I perform, that's easy. But it's like I have to learn.
Okay, that wasn't the clip we were looking for, but as you heard, she's already been talking to somebody, and the reporter said, he's at the top of you're at the top of your game, and he's at the top of his game. Who's he? It's fucking John Jones. Motherfucking John Jones said, hey, Clarissa, you want me to help you to learn how to fight MMA? Get over here. If her and John Jones got together over at Jackson Winks, it's fucking over. Clarissa Shields has a good possibility to do great things in mixed martial arts. I just don't know if those things are going to be against Amanda Nunes, who's destroyed everybody, who everybody doubted even after she beat Ronda Rousey, even after she beat Holmes, even after she beat freaking Aisha Tate. People are like, nah, she's not the best, up until they put her up against a freaking monster in Chris Cyborg, and she knocks Cyborg out in vicious fashion. Man, take my money. Clarissa Shields versus Amanda Nunes in a few years? I'm all in. Hell, I wouldn't mind seeing Amanda Nunes versus Clarissa Shields in a boxing fight either. Amanda Nunes is an incredible striker, even though she's shot that down plenty of times already. And then we move on to some Conor McGregor talk, because UFC 246 is upon us. And Conor McGregor has already started to talk. And I saw an article here on, let me get to it real quick. Here you go. Where McGregor has been talking welterweight domination. He wants a championship in the third weight class. And guess who got wind of that? Oh, you want a championship in the third weight class? At 170 pounds welterweight? Kamaru Usman begs to differ. And Kamaru Usman doesn't fuck around. Here's this quote over at MMA Fighting, and the article was written by Damon Martin. Here's Usman talking about McGregor. It is a mismatch. More power to him. Anything is possible. A fight is a fight. Anything can happen, but just being real, that's a tremendous mismatch. I think I would hurt him really, really bad. I think he just might fucking be right. People are saying McGregor stands a good chance at 170 against anyone. He doesn't have to cut all that weight. He looks huge at 170, even in his recent picks. But man, that much muscle takes cardio. And despite what Chael Sonnen has said recently about Conor McGregor doesn't have a cardio problem because he's only lost to people who have that style of breaking their opponents with cardio, I'm not so sure that at 170 pounds his cardio is going to improve. Usman, on the other hand, just fucking started from the bottom up. Just digging and crawling and scraping for everything he had. He went through the Ultimate Fighter, which I watched, and he looked so doubtful of himself throughout the whole thing. He walked through the fire over and over. Walked through all the self-doubt over and over. And now he's king at 170 pounds. I mean, he's proven how dangerous he is. His last fight with Colby Covington was insane. It was so hard-hitting. You could feel every fucking punch thrown. But, I mean, I'm not sure McGregor can take this guy. Look at the list of people he's beaten. Just look at the fucking list. Rafael Dos Anjos, Damian Maia, fucking Sergio Moraes, Colby Covington, Tyrone Woodley. This guy's been through it. And he's dangerous. And I don't know if Conor McGregor can take on a Guzman when he couldn't really take on a Nate Diaz. And as badass as Nate Diaz is, there's a lot of weaknesses in his game, and McGregor couldn't expose him. I don't know. Crazy times. Crazy times. Because then we get up to UFC 246, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. First and foremost, the thing that just boggles my mind is Cowboy is getting no credit for his decade-long career of insane fights. The fact that he is coming off of 2 losses means nothing. It means nothing at all. If any of you people has ever watched Cowboy fight, you know it doesn't matter if he's coming off of wins. It doesn't matter if he's coming off of losses. It doesn't fucking matter. He can just show up at any time. He's fought everybody. Look at his accomplishments. Look at his fucking accomplishments. Fight of the night 6 times. Fucking performance of the night 7 times. Most wins in UFC history. Most finishes in UFC history. Most post-fight bonus awards in UFC history. Tied for most fucking bouts in UFC history. This guy, doesn't matter if he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. It doesn't matter if he's coming off a fucking losing to Justin Gaethje, or fucking destroying Mike Perry, or losing to Jorge Masvidal, or fucking up Yancy Medeiros. It doesn't matter what's happening with that guy. He can show up at any fucking moment. And he can win. His only Achilles heel, so to speak, is the trash talk. He's come out and said that it doesn't bother him if McGregor talked trash, but history says otherwise. Look at the Nate Diaz fight. I feel that's the reason he likes taking short notice fights. He can jump right in there without having to deal with the pressure trash talk puts on him sometimes. Because when fighters have talked trash to him, usually it fucks him up. And usually it gets in his head and he gets super nervous and he doesn't perform. Now, granted, since he's had his kid recently, he's changed. It looks like he has changed. But we'll see what happens, because while I don't think there's going to be a lot of media for this fight, since we do have a week to go, there is a press conference already announced. And we'll see what happens. McGregor's been super respectful lately. He hasn't really talked a lot of shit. I think the worst thing I heard him say was that he could be Cerrone even if he had the flu. It's a whole different McGregor. It could be that he's trying to look good because he's had a couple of run-ins with the law or whatever, or it could be that he's literally just trying to better himself. I like to think it's him trying to better himself. It's going to be a great fight, and we'll see how crazy it gets, because Cerrone said he's not going to let the trash talk get to him. The only way he gets crazy is if McGregor talks about his family or about his kid. He says you'll probably assault him in the lobby. It's fucking insane. These fighters are crazy. Anywho, it should be a great fight. I can't wait till fight week. It's Sunday today. Fight week officially starts tomorrow on Monday. It's going to be a fucking hoot and a half. I'm going to enjoy it, and it's going to be great. And now, we move on to Vince McMahon's world. Or is it AEW's world? Tony Khan's world? I don't know. But quite frankly, I'm going to be honest. Professional wrestling talk is going to be very short, because I don't have much. I've caught Wrestle Kingdom. Fucking awesome show. What I got out of that was Moxley's feud coming up is going to be insane. Kenta has been doing pretty badass. I like that. But I don't know. Quite frankly, one of the things I hated about 2019 in wrestling was how fucking sensitive I've noticed pro wrestling has turned. And I know that's a society thing, and all aspects of society have turned, very, very sensitive, blah, blah, blah. But man, what the fuck happened to professional wrestling? In 2019, I think I remember there was a referee who got beat up, and he went on and complained and cried and was going to give up the business. What the fuck? What happened to referees in professional wrestling? It seems like the women have more balls now. The women referee have more balls now than the men. This guy goes on Twitter, talks about he's going to quit the business and he shouldn't have gotten beat up. Hey, what happened to referees kind of knowing how to wrestle? What happened to that? What happened to referees having to be in class to learn the amateur wrestling portion of professional wrestling? What happened to that? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. But we're going to find out, because we're going straight to the dirt sheets. Let's see what happens. We'll go to PW Insider first. Oh, yeah. Man, look at the first thing that pops up. It's kind of insane. Not on PW Insider, but on this other website. Tessa Blanchard, racism, all kinds of fucking crazy shit. We're not going to get into that. That's weird and fucking retarded. Let's see here. Wow. La Parka from AAA passes away. That's very sad. It's not the same La Parka, though. It's not the WCW LA Park. However, that's a big loss. He was way over there. Now I think... Oh, damn. AEW surpassed NXT this week by like 100,000. Not too shabby. I mean, that's been back and forth, the whole NXT and AEW war. My God, it's like one week the NXT wins the ratings, next week AEW wins the ratings. It's off the fucking hook. And not only is it off the hook when it comes to TV ratings, but my God, have you seen what these guys are doing on Wednesday nights? They're fucking murdering each other on both shows, trying to prove who's the best, and it's fucking great. It's awesome. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah, that's right. NXT had TakeOver Blackpool 2, which was supposed to be a huge, huge fucking deal. Haven't watched that, which I am going to watch it for sure. Let's see. Let's go to the other fucking site. Wrestling Inc. WrestlingInc.com. Wow. Tessa Blanchard removed from indie event due to controversy. Which indie event was it? Oh, Heavy Metal Wrestling. I mean, I don't think that's going to fucking affect her. Whether she's racist or not, I don't fucking know. All these women, though, saying that they've witnessed all this shit is kind of nuts. If she is a bully, I mean, fuck. She can be a bully in terms of maybe trying to blackball people, as what's been being said. But physically, fuck that. Slap the shit out of her. Even if you get beat up. I mean, come on, you're professional wrestlers. Anywho, I think she has a match coming up here on Impact for the world title, the men's world title. The big controversy there is her going for the world title, and if she does win it, it's going to make the women's title look like shit. Because in order for a woman to be a something, she has to win a male belt. Which is weird to me. Why can't they just up the women's title and make that the fucking main event? I don't know, TNA. Impact needs ratings, and I understand what they're doing, and quite frankly, it's worked. I'm going to watch it to see if she wins or she doesn't. Does it devalue it? Does it devalue the women's championship if she wins the men's championship? I think it does. It puts her over, but it puts all the women underneath her not over, if you get my drift. Alex Shelley, who I've fucking seen since Ring of Honor back in the day with Austin Aries and the rest of the crew, has made his WBA NXT debut. Not too bad. I like it. Man, there's not a lot of pro wrestling news this year so far. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to have to leave it at that. Tessa Blanchard being racist and going for the World Heavyweight Championship. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this was Have Fun on the Indies. Catch me at HaveFunOTI. At HaveFunOTI. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.